Hello everyone and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson. I am channeling the Man in the Moon today. There's so much going on right now. I have no idea what I am going to pick up here. I'm kind of asking for future, and as I do that, I hope y'all realize the future is not fixed, and we can change it if I show a negative timeline. Understand that we can do our best to prepare for that, but also we can change it. Just thinking about a better future will bring about a better future. So let's just see. I really have a feeling that so much is going on in August. I'm just going to choose as it arises. Or should I say Spirit's going to show me what it's going to show me. Okay. So we're starting with the Donald here. It's just like crisis after crisis after crisis after crisis after crisis. You know, the more I proceed with this administration, and the more I sort of grapple with the last election and how it could be possible, I am really starting to think that it was just necessary for all the poison to come out. And we needed to see the real consequences of, you know, if they were in charge. And as I'm looking at these consequences, it's just like Trump going, you know, just crisis after crisis. So let's see if we can see the first crisis. What is it? Well, just that he's not able to message in the way that he used to. And as he's not able to message in the way that he used to, he's just not able to control his stories so much. I can just see it's not just this crisis. He's lost control and the ability to put things out that are more outrageous and transfer the story and change it. People are still focusing on the Epstein files. So the whole ability, the whole practice, the whole shtick that he had, it's not just a crisis. The shtick isn't working, and it's upsetting him a lot. It doesn't work anymore. Americans have become kind of wise to this, you know, and I just wonder, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, you know, why this? Why did the conservatives, you know, they let go this, they let this go, they let that go. All of these other things didn't bother them, but this one does. And I'm just kind of asking the universe, you know, what was it about the Epstein files that set them over the edge? And I do feel a little bit, you know, let's give them some credit. I don't think that this is just political. I think that they really do care to some degree about the rights of the downtrodden individual. So I hope this will lead us all to say, you know, this isn't black and white. There are some things that Democrats, Biden in power, he could have done more. I'm not criticizing him because I don't know the details, but in general, the Democrats could have compelled this testimony earlier on. They could have confronted people within the government that let Epstein off, and they didn't. So let's share some responsibility here, and that doesn't mean me and you, it does mean political parties across the board. In some sense, there is good in here, and that both political parties need to take a good look at themselves and say, where are our values? What is important? Is protecting children not important? Not the next election, but right now, today. And there's a lot more to be said about that, you know, and we must give credit where it is due. I do believe people really care about this for the right reasons. They are sick of the corruption. And that's just, it does feel like a shift. That is, they were interested in only corruption on one side and not on the other. And now I think they have gotten to a rock bottom. Now, you know, Republicans are in charge, so they have to take responsibility for everything. Things have shifted. You know, it's like Democrats, you always blame mom. She'll always take it, right? It's always mom's fault. She'll accept responsibility. She'll take the punch. Well, dad's in charge now. And, you know, should we not start making him responsible, right? Obviously, I'm making a metaphor. I don't want to be sexist here and encourage these behaviors, but I'm saying that that's just a tendency that people have. And now that only one side's in charge, they are being held accountable. This is a good thing. And then I get to like three principal crises. There's the one that the White House is dealing with right now. There's another one that is brewing. It is very serious. It has to do with the inflation. I'm planting my own garden because even here where I live in wonderful socialist Australia, there are some. I am a little worried about inflation, but I can just see the skyrocketing. I don't know whether that's inflation, maybe it's unemployment, maybe it's both. And then I see Donald Trump like this, just total frustration, like, oh, a reality. You don't need to be psychic to know that the bankrupt is in charge. And those people believing these sorts of silly philosophies are being incredibly one-dimensional. It might be that tariffs work if they are managed in a very specific way, but this sort of blustering fighting, it's all their fault. That's not working. I just see this huge line going up. And I see somebody like counting their money and going, there's not enough. I think both things will come about. People will be unemployed, and people will feel the effects of the inflation. And this isn't just like, oh yeah, it's a crisis. It's not like, well, let's wait till the next election. People are pissed. They're really angry. You would be too if you can't feed your kids. We're not talking, oh, I can't have, cordon bleu tonight. It's like, I don't have ham and eggs. I don't have, beans and rice. And they're getting really, really angry. Look, watch any town hall that the Republicans attend. So, anything more about this crisis? Yeah, dollar signs, money. It's just kind of the image of the dollar is sort of crumbling. And that's another issue, perhaps. So is there something wrong with the dollar? It may be intentional that they're trying to devalue the dollar. If they devalue the dollar, there are some economic benefits. But they don't know what they're doing. So what's going on with the dollar? Yeah, it has significant effects, the devaluation, in other ways. And I see like a waterfall. Like, again, it just feels like another crisis. So let's turn to the third crisis. The third crisis seems to be Russia. They're not doing any of the things that Trump wants them to do. Yeah, Trump was so played by Putin. It is just so obvious that he was played. Now, we're talking about an expert in manipulation and Machiavellian tactics. That's Putin. And then there's, Trump, who's just, a sixth grade bully. He's not smart in the way that Putin is smart. And when I say smart, I don't mean to imply ethics. This is just pure, raw, Machiavellian. It's just Putin's playing him like a fiddle. I'm just going to say, all right, don't like looking at Putin very much, but what are you doing? What are you going to do? Yeah, he's doing it. I'm not going to tell you. It's a big secret. I am Putin, so... stopping something, he like puts his hand out and says stop. It's sort of rolling across his own country, right? Not from the west, but from the east, you just like, boom, something stops right at Moscow. What's stopping? So Putin may be covering up for his own internal crisis. There does seem to be some kind of crisis. He is capable of stopping it and controlling it, but part of what Putin has to do is humiliate Trump in order to maintain power. You know, the people in the East who are like, yeah, stick it to him and show us, you know, that you are more powerful than him. And it's only about that, the perception of power. It's just having the U.S. keep coming and begging him to make a deal. Trump is just going to come and beg him and beg him and beg him. He has Trump exactly where he wants him. And I'm not so sure that Trump will totally knuckle over, or should I say knuckle under, because he has his own ego. So a sort of battle between the two of them is about to begin. And this is going to imply like just two manipulators going at each other in these different ways. But keep in mind, Putin has all power. He can do anything he wants. There's nothing going to stop him. Trump, not so much. And there is an election, and he could lose the Senate, and it could go to Democrats and get impeached. So he's much more desperate than Putin. He's a wannabe dictator. Putin's the real thing. So I do feel like there's a crisis. Is there something specific? Putin goes like this, and it sends a wave. It's like the tidal wave. It's like he sends a wave in the Atlantic Ocean. And he's laughing as he does it. Putin's got something up his sleeve. And part of the process is to humiliate Donald Trump. And just to show his power. Humiliating Trump keeps Putin in power. And it is making even Republicans in the United States angry because it's their jobs that are going to be lost, not Trump's. So it is having another effect, and that is it is turning some people against Trump, some senators. We've already seen this happening. There's a lot more people in the Senate who would really, really be glad if Trump were gone. And I would even say they're kind of plotting. I've seen sometimes that there are people in the United States, powerful people, who are shaking things up, moving things around, because amongst each other, they don't want Trump to be in power anymore. They'd be glad with a J.D. Vance, right? Just keep up the normal theft, right? Just consider extorting the amount of money that we usually extort on a regular basis. Nothing too dramatic. This is, you know, they've had this sort of attack dog, and now he's out of control. And now he's just randomly attacking people that might be our customers. So now we're not so sure about it. This goes very deep within the center of power of the United States. These are people we don't know. People who don't show themselves, the people who pull the strings. They have information about the Epstein files or not. They have information about a lot of things. And they are slowly releasing them. You notice that the Epstein files were no big deal. Nobody mentioned them for a long time. And then suddenly Elon Musk mentions it. And out of nowhere, this becomes the crisis that Trump can't control. What does that tell you about who has the real power? Those people have a lot more evidence about a lot more things. which they will release in the near future. They are subtly indicating to Donald their displeasure with how things are going. Now, please keep in mind these people have terrible powers, but they don't have all the powers. The power does rest with us. There is a presentation of power, that is, we see this and we perceive it as a power. But also, we can perceive that there's a power far beyond what they in the physical world can grasp. And don't hesitate as you go through this to pray, to meditate. Take a lot of care of yourself. This is a very difficult time. It's hard for us. And understand, something very, very important. And that is, we can handle this. We're here to do this task, if only just to witness. Thanks so much for watching.